Thank you, Benny, for being here. Benny Stein. Shlomo Franklin, you're unmuted, Shlomo.
Hi, Rabbi. How are you?
Excellent, excellent. How are you, Shlomo?
Very good.
I'm so happy you're here. Do you have a guitar handy?
I do actually, yes.
When you play I have an Indian today. I want to learn with the chevra, but it's so important to me. It needs simcha. Before we can learn it together, we need joy. And I think if you would play for the Olam, it would bring the right mood that we could learn the shtickle we need to learn today. Could you play something
Okay, I
for
feel
the
the same
chevra,
way.
Shlomo? Thank you.
Sure, absolutely. So, Rabbi, especially during this time when we're supposed to stay away from people, what brings me a lot of joy is nature, and because it's safe to be out there, it's safe to be in the woods, by a river, near a waterfall. So this is a song that brings me joy. I wrote it near a river upstate New York, a river called the Never Sink River. But anyway, this song is called Waterfall. Sometimes I feel like the river in the deep frozen winter, like the water I don't know where I'm going, but I must keep on flowing. I've got a lot of unanswered questions, like which way's the right direction. I've got a feeling there's no one way, and I'll be wandering for the rest of my days. The waterfall's gonna take me down. The waterfall's gonna make me drown. They say that life is but a river, and every person is a dam. Death is only but a waterfall, falling into afterlife ocean. Into the waterfall's gonna take me down. Waterfall's gonna make me drown. And I see you, buddy, standing at the jukebox, playing the right song at the wrong time. And I just need you to tell me that I got time on my side. Oh, and I need you to tell me that, darling, you believe in me. And tell me we can make it to the sea, to the waterfall. Waterfall's gonna turn me upside down. Waterfall's gonna get me out of this town. The waterfall's gonna take me down, it's gonna swim me around. The waterfall's gonna make us drown. Oh yeah.
That was awesome, Shlomo. Beautiful, beautiful. Oh, do I miss you?
Thank you, Rabbi. Now
Thank
it's
you,
your
Shlomo.
Pleasure. I miss you
Thank
too,
you,
Rabbi.
Shlomo. That was awesome. Wow. I was mechaven to Alicia Edelman. Alicia Edelman and his comments. Shlomo, you have to see all the comments that were flowing during your music. I was mechaven to Alicia Edelman. When Shlomo was playing, I said to my son Yaakov, Bob who? So I was mechaven to Alicia. But excellent, Shlomo. Matt, you probably haven't heard Shlomo in a while. That was awesome. Rabbi say, I want to learn something with the Chevra. I want to learn a Gemara Nedarim Pei Aleph. I want to say that it says there are 48 kinyanim necessary for Limud Torah. In order to learn Torah, in order for Torah to impact us properly, there are 48 things that are necessary to acquire. And one of the midas that is necessary to acquire is noisei ba'oil im chaveroi, to carry the yoke with our friends. Noisei ba'oil im chaveroi. I want to speak about this precious midah a lot. It is something that is so important in our chabura, in our yeshiva, and amongst Bnei Torah. This midah, that's an absolute requirement to be mekabel Torah. We're headed in the stretch run with the 34th day of the Omer, and we're headed right away. We're a few days away from Kabbalah Satira, 2 weeks away from Kabbalah Satira, 2.5 weeks. And one of the kinyanim, one of the memches kinyanim is noisei ba'olim chaveroi, to feel what somebody else is feeling, to be noisei ba'ol, to carry the yoke with our friend. I would like to explain this midah and why it's necessary in order to have Torah. The pasuk says, Bini, about Torah. It says, Torah tziva lanu Moshe. Moshe Rabbeinu commanded us. He gave us the Torah. Mayrasha kihilas Yaakov. It's the Yerusha of the Jewish people. It says, Mayrasha kihilas Yaakov. Hashem didn't give it to one individual. We speak a lot about in yeshiva about the individuality of every person, the uniqueness. But Torah wasn't given to one yid. It was given to Klal Yisrael. Mayrasha kihilas Yaakov. The Torah was handed to the Jewish people. The Maral says on this Mishnah in Avos about noisei ba'olim chaveroi. He says when a person is noisei ba'olim chaveroi, he's not nivdal min haklal. It attaches him to the group, and then he's ro'ei ala Torah shehi ala klal. The Torah was given to Klal Yisrael. If you can attach to the Jewish people, then you have shaykhis to Torah. If a person remains detached from the Jewish people, then they don't have a shaykhis to Torah. Now the question then becomes, so why doesn't it say chesed? What's noisei ba'olim chaveroi? If I want to attach myself to other people, so shouldn't I do kindness? And here Rabbi say is the nakuda I want to bring out today. that Noisei Ba'olam Chaveira is a level that perhaps is deeper than kindness, or perhaps is actually the root of all kindness. Noisei Ba'olam Chaveira attaches somebody to the Klal Yisrael, that you do more than giving to somebody else, is you understand what he's going through. Moshe Rabbeinu was the giver of Torah, was the Rabbi of Klal Yisrael, the one who Moshe kibul Torah Sinai. And the first thing we're told about Moshe Rabbeinu was Vayar b'sivloisam, Nasan eina v'liboy liyos meitzer aleim. He understood our suffering. Moshe Rabbeinu was in the palace of the king, and the Shibud Mitzrayim was not given to Moshe Rabbeinu. He was not working like us. But he went out. Vayar b'sivloisam is a madrega that he understood our perspective. There are people who do kindness, but they don't understand the perspective of another yid. They don't visualize, they don't see what another yid is going through. Moshe taught us Torah, the midah of learning Torah, what's necessary to join with the Jewish people is to feel what somebody's feeling, to understand them, to be nice, say, ba'olim chaver, you mamish carry their yoke. You mamish, the burden that's on them, you're literally feeling what they're feeling. One of the most, I want to learn a very mysterious pasuk. If I find the chumash I prepared, I would like to learn a very mysterious pasuk with the chevra, so long as I find the chumash. In Shemais, and I am looking, I set aside it. I apologize, Heather. Hopefully we'll have Siyata D'Shmaya. We'll find a very mysterious pasuk. In Shemais, in Perek, I believe, Chaf Dalid. Hopefully the Siyata D'Shmaya, it's there. Perek Chaf Dalid, pasuk Yud, the pasuk says as follows. Chazdei Hashem. Vayal Moshe v'Aaron Nadav Aviv v'Shivim Miziknei Yisrael. Moshe Rabbeinu with Aaron, with Nadav Avihu and 70 Zikanim climbed up Har Sinai, Yosef Sandler. Ezra Bork, listen, Kalman Sage here. Thank you for being here, Kalman. So Moshe Rabbeinu climbs up, and they're climbing up to the top of Har Sinai. And then Shlomo Franklin listened to a mysterious pasuk in the Torah. Vayiru es Elokei Yisrael, they saw God. This is the introduction. This is right after the Jewish people, Davi, said Nasa v'nishma. Thank you, Davi Salzberg, for being here. Listen to this, Davi, and the whole car. Listen, Daniel. Klal Yisrael says Nasa v'nishma, and they're about to receive the Torah. And Moshe, Aaron, Nadav, Avihu, and the Shivim Zikanim are climbing the Har, and they see God. Vayiru es Elokei Yisrael. They saw the God of the Jewish people, and listen to the description of Hashem that's important to know before you receive the Torah. This is the introduction, this mysterious pasuk. V'sachas raglov, under Hashem's feet, kaviyachol, kimaisei livnas hasapir, was a sapphire levena. It was a levena, a brick, some sort of brick, was under Hashem's feet, livnas hasapir. A sapphire levena was under Hashem's feet. That is a very mysterious verse. Under God's feet was a sapphire levena, some sort of brick that people do construction with, and under God's foot was this brick made out of sapphire. Kimaisa livnas hasapir. Yosef Sandler, what in the world is it saying that under God's feet was a sapphire levena? So thank God that we have Rashi, and Rashi tells us what was under God's feet. Ki yisa lefanav b'shas hashibud. It was in front of Hashem at the time the Jewish people were suffering. Lizkar tzarashan shel Yisrael, So Hashem was always remembering the pain of the Jewish people. We were constructing bricks. We were being beaten up and making levanim under crazy conditions, tortured. We, with our hands, were making levanim. So by God, right next to him, he had a sapphire levanim to remember our pain. Now, certainly it's important to know that when we have pain, God feels our pain. But here specifically, there was a lesson to the Jewish people. This was a lesson in the midos of Hashem, the midos of God, to know that he's noisei ba'oil. When we're in pain, he feels our pain. He lives our pain. He has a levena in front of him like we have levanim in front of us. And this is the introduction to Kabbalah Torah. This godly attribute of noisei ba'olim chaveira. I get you. I feel what you're feeling. I experience what you're experiencing. That is the right before Kabbalah Torah. Right before we received the Torah, that's what the Jewish people saw God was busy with. Noisei ba'olim chaveira. Feel what somebody else is feeling. You can do chesed, you can be nice to other people, you can give a nice smile to people, you can say an encouraging word, you can even give millions to tzedakah, but it's a whole different madrega to feel what somebody else is feeling. Nothing connects us to another human being. Like noisei ba'olim chaveirei, I feel what you're feeling that connects us. I once read a book about a group of people in the middle of the Holocaust. They were hiding under the ground in a very, very small little hole in the ground. They were on their knees for close to 2 years. They lived on their knees. They couldn't stand up. They were in a tiny hole in the ground. And this book is an accounting of their experiences. This family that was living in a hole in the ground. They had nothing. They had a transistor radio with them, which in the middle of the Holocaust, they had to get rid of, because as the Nazis, Yamach Shemam, were searching for them harder, they couldn't even have the radio with them. But at the point they had their radio, the book was written 50 years after the Holocaust. And the author writes, they're sitting in a hole in the ground, and some kind Gentile was throwing food down that they'd have 3 meals a day, or at least some food to eat. They didn't starve to death. And in the hole in the ground, at first they had this transistor radio, and there was a channel from England. There was a channel that they were listening to, some channel that was broadcasting news from England. And a man on the floor of Parliament, he made a speech, this Yid, a Jew, made a speech on the floor of the Parliament. And the author of the book, 50 years later, says, I still have gratitude to this Yid. The Yid didn't save them, didn't give them food. You know what the Yid said? The Yid on the floor of British Parliament was speaking and said, this broadcast is going around. And I'm sure there are people out there, Jews, that are hiding in ridiculously difficult conditions. And the Yid on the floor of the Parliament said, I'm thinking about you. I'm thinking about you. And I care about you. And I know you have difficult conditions. 50 years later, this person wrote a book and said, I'm still makir tov. I still appreciate that Jew who spoke on the British Parliament floor and knew and understood my situation. I still have akar satayv. What did the Jew do for these people? They were listening on the transistor radio. The Jew didn't even know they exist. The Jew didn't even know about them, couldn't save them, couldn't give them food, and couldn't protect them from these animals that were seeking their lives. But what the Yid did was noisei ba'olim chaveira. I feel you. I feel you. I understand what you're going through. That Nesias oil, the Yid Mamish joined them in their hole in the ground. It's the deepest part of kindness, is I get you. I get your perspective. I see where you're coming from. That is noisei ba'oil. That is a midah that connects us to other yidden. It makes us deeper understand other yidden. And that is an absolute tanai for Kabbalah Torah. That's a condition necessary to have Torah. The Gemara Nedarim, Daf Pei Aleph, the Gemara speaks about, the Gemara asks the following scary question. Ask the Gemara, why is it often that Talmidei Chachamim's kids are not Talmidei Chachamim? Scary question. Why is it not? The Gemara says, I'll read the exact words. We have to say it the way it is. Says the Gemara, what's the reason? It's not common for a Talmud Chacham, it's not common that Talmidei Chachamim come from other Talmidei Chachamim. That Talmidei Chachamim don't have kids who are Talmidei Chachamim. Now I want to say pshat in the Gemara. It probably happens a lot. The Stipler at Reb Chaim Kanievsky, Reb Elyashiv's children are big, Reb Chaim Brim's children. It probably means that it's not as common as it should be. That it should be much more common. It should be money in the bank. A Talmud Chacham's kids should certainly be a Talmud Chacham. But it doesn't happen as much as it should. It's not as much as it should. That's why I understand this Gemara. So the Gemara gives a series of answers why it doesn't happen as much as it should. I want, as a side, I want to talk about one of the answers. It's not our topic. As an aside, so the Gemara says one of the reasons is people shouldn't say, people shouldn't say Torah is Yerusha for them. It's very important, and this is not the aspect that we're studying this afternoon. Torah tziva lanu Moshe, Ma'irasha Kilas Yaakov, means it belongs to all the Jewish people. It frustrates me when people think Torah belongs to a group of Eluyim, a certain family has a right. It belongs to all the Jewish people. It's a gneva, you're a thief. If you withhold Torah from any yid, it is ours and belongs to us. Torah tziva lanu Moshe, Ma'irasha Kilas Yaakov. It belongs to all the Jews. If one family would have Talmud Chacham, Talmud Chacham, Talmud Chacham, people would start saying it belongs to that family. That would be a disaster. It belongs to all the Jewish people. It frustrates me how many Bachrim say my Rebbe is an Eloi. My Rebbe is a genius. That frustrates me. As if like the Torah belongs to a genius club or a Masmid club or a certain club. Torah belongs to the Jewish people. It is ours. Ma'irasha Kilas Yaakov. And Hashem purposely arranges that it doesn't just be in one family. It belongs to the entirety of the Jewish people. Extremely important lesson and an amazing Gemara Nedarim. And Hashem makes that Talmidei Chacham's kids sometimes are not Talmidei Chachamim. It shouldn't be seen. It's their Yerusha. It's that family's Yerusha. It belongs to the entirety of the Jewish people. This is one aspect that the Gemara says. But the Gemara says, Rabbi says something else. And this is Nageya more for us. Says the Gemara, why is it that Talmidei Chacham's kids are not Talmidei Chachamim? Says the Gemara, scary answer. Rav Ashi Omer Mishum Dekari Le'inshi Chamri. They call people donkeys. Says the Maharal, of course, Talmidei Chachamim would never call anybody a donkey. It doesn't mean b'dibur. It doesn't mean in word. It means because they look down at people. They look down at people. They lose Torah from their family. Shlomi Berger, I love you and appreciate that you're here a lot. Thank you, Shlomi. Thank you. Says the Maharal, it doesn't mean a Talmud Chacham would never call somebody a donkey. It means they look badly at people. And therefore, that's the Maharal says, it means b'machshava. It doesn't mean b'dibur. Amazing Maharal. It means they look at people as donkeys, and as such, the Torah, their kids are not Talmidei Chachamim. What's the word over here? Here's a person who's a big tzaddik, a big Talmud Chacham, but What I want to explain it, Rabbi say, is that if they don't understand the next person, if their steiging and their learning separates them from Klal Yisrael, they are better, they are bigger, they are different, and it separates them from the Jewish people, then they lose it because the Torah is not theirs. It belongs to Klal Yisrael. My Rasha Kehilas Yaakov. It is ours, not theirs. It's ours. It belongs to the tzibur. There's a Rav Aaron Kotler has a gorgeous line. He says the Gemara in Baba Basra. The Gemara says if you have a chatzer shel shutfim, if you have a field of shutfim, and you have a field of partners, and one partner works on the field. Shlomo Franklin spoke beautifully about a stream. Visualize me and Shlomo love Hashem's beautiful world and get inspired. Shlomo, I've been hiking a lot. I've gone on many hikes. Join me. There's nothing wrong. It's socially distant. Come. I'll show you some gorgeous streams. And we'll play music and sing and we'll enjoy Hashem's world. I promise you, if you come here, I'll take you on a hike, Shlomo. The hikes, gorgeous hikes. There's some stunning ones I want to show you, Shlomo. But L'maaseh Rabbi say, if you look at a big sada, a field of partners, and one partner plants on the field, he's mishabeach the field, says the Gemara, everybody gains from it. Says Rav Aaron Kotler, a Talmud Chacham learns Torah. He has to know Torah is a field of Klal Yisrael. You owe it to everybody. It belongs to them. If your limanat Torah damages others, you lose the Torah. If the Talmud Chacham learns, and through his Torah he understands others, he values others, and raises up others, then his kids stay Talmidei Chachamim, for then the Torah, he has a right to Torah. My Rasha, Kilas Yaakov, it belongs to Klal Yisrael. If you don't understand it belongs to the people, and you separate yourself, you don't impact others. If you call people Chamayrim, you don't impact anybody. If you look down at people, you hurt people. So now you're a ganav, you're a thief. Your kid is not a Talmud Chacham, you lose Torah. Now when it says his kid's not a Talmud Chacham, but what happens, he knows Torah. But it doesn't belong to you, it's not who you are, and it doesn't go to your children. If they call people Chamayrim, if they don't have realization that the Torah belongs to the Jewish people, and you have to connect and relate and impact the Jewish people, but you separate yourself. You're different, you're better, you're something different than, and you'll call people Chamayrim, the spitz of disconnect to people, so then they lose the Torah. Their children, Rachmana litzlan, are not Talmidei Chachamim. This Inyan, it says, we all know the pasuk. Vayichan sham Yisrael neged ha'or ke'ish echad b'lev echad. The Or Chaim HaKadosh says this was not just a side fact that there was a unity by Har Sinai. It's a t'nai for Kabbalah Satira. There must be a unity. There must be a unity of the Jewish people for Kabbalah Satira. But the unity that we are demanding is Nesias Oil, is to literally understand the other person, to get his perspective, to see his experiences. I like in yeshiva, after a long off Shabbos, so people come back to yeshiva. So people have all different modes of transportation. Ezra Bork knows, can say, Eidos, I always want the Baltimore guys to hop on. Ezra, I'm putting you on. Ezra, unmute, please. Can you do me a favor, Ezra? Tell us, how do you get back to yeshiva? Give me the whole journey. Don't leave out one detail. You're sitting in your precious home in Baltimore. How do you get back to yeshiva?
There's two ways. Either I can take a train straight to yeshiva. It costs a lot of money. Or I can take a bus from downtown Baltimore.
Slow down. How do you get to the bus stop?
I'll have my mother drive me to the bus.
His precious mother, the tzaddikas, takes him from his house. How long of a trip is it?
15 minutes.
15-minute drive. His mother, tzaddikas, drives from the house To where are you going the first stop?
Downtown Baltimore to the bus.
So to downtown Baltimore, 15 minutes. Then what do we do in downtown Baltimore?
We get on the bus.
We get on a bus and we head where?
We head to New York.
How long of a bus ride is that?
3 hours.
3-hour bus ride after a 15-minute drive. A nice gentleman's driving the bus, gives them a ride, and drives them from Baltimore. How much does it cost, Ezra?
Probably $15.
$15. You hand a nice driver, and he takes you from downtown Baltimore to New York. What do we do when we're in New York?
We get off the bus and we walk to the train station. I forgot which one.
Grand Central, no?
Yeah, Grand Central. We get
How
from
long a walk is that?
10 minutes.
10-minute walk. The guy, after driving 15 minutes, then 3 hours, walks 10 minutes to Grand Central. Where do we go from Grand Central?
We get on the train to New Haven.
How long does that take?
2 hours.
2 more hours from Grand Central to New Haven. How much does that cost?
I think around $17, maybe 12.
$17. He hands the nice conductor, and then the train driver takes them to New Haven. Now what do you do when you're in New Haven?
Then you get off the train in New Haven, and it's a $30 Uber to Durham.
You either Uber or you call a sweet Durham counselor and you say, I'm in New Haven, and I've just driven for 5 hours and 15 minutes. Can you come 45 minutes to pick me up? Or how much is the Uber if you Uber from New Haven to Durham?
Around $30.
Guys, I know that was long, but to hear Ezra Bork talk is worth it. Thank you, Ezra. I love you, Ezra.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Rabbi say, I want another bacher. I want Dan Kalish to visualize. I don't want two people to bump into each other. Yo, how's it going? 1 second. He had a trip to get here. Do you know what it took him to get here? But I want you to visualize. Nice oil. He just went from Baltimore to downtown Baltimore. From downtown Baltimore, he took a bus to Manhattan. Then he walked 10 minutes and took a train to New Haven. And then from New Haven, he took an Uber and got to Durham. Understand another person. See past ourselves. See past our nose. Noisei ba'olim chaveira means to understand. Tell me, speak to me, describe to me. To understand in detail. Hashem has a sapphire levena in front of him. There's a pa'ula, mamish, a sapphire levena, because his banim are working. God could see everywhere. God is everywhere. Hashem's everywhere. But the lesson is to you and me. He has a sapphire levena. Do you carry a sapphire levena? You should know the bus schedule for Ezra Bork. Your chaver just did this, then this, then this, then this. Where's your sapphire levena? We have to learn to be noisei ba'olim chaveiroi, to get it, to hear it, to understand it. I told you before, a bacher pulled me into the dining room. It was quiet in the afternoon. Nobody's there. He said, Rabbi, I have to share something with you. He said, do you remember you were working out the dorm rooms? Do you remember when you tried to switch me, I gave you Gehenim? I said, oh, do I remember? I remember very well. So he said he's a Ben Torah, a fiery Ben Torah from the Chashuvim of Ar Chabur. So he said, I need to explain to you because I want to help others. I need to explain to you something. I said, please teach me. He says to me that you asked me, switch dormers, what's the difference? This little box, that little box. He said, I need you to understand something. Thursday nights, the buses leave here. So Geshmak, we're all going home. We're all going home, Geshmak. We leave Yeshiva, go. He said, I walk into my house, I'm not comfortable for 1 second. And he described what he goes through in his home. He said, I don't have a minute's comfort. The only place on earth that I'm safe, that I'm comfortable is that dorm room. So you look at it, it's a dorm room, beseder. I don't have a room in my house that I'm comfortable. Please understand that. And please, he said, by me, I'm happy, I'm graduated. Understand that for the next guy. Nice say ba'oil. You're going home. Is the next guy going home? What's he going through? Hashem put us in a matzav, chevra. We're all alone in our bunkers. But we have to understand the next guy's perspective. It's a tanai for Kabbalah Satira. Rabbi say there are people that are nervous types. Nervous people now are going out of their minds. People who have anxieties are going mishuggah. Understand that person who can't handle, if you're that person who is a self-appointed social distancing policeman or policewoman. Understand them. Understand anxiety. Understand all different, understand. And the anxious person, understand your neighbor who's not so anxious, who's a little less anxious and trying their best. We have to, from our own bunker, and we've all been holed up in our own bunker, but understand his bunker and her bunker. Understand how the next person thinks. Try to put ourselves, it's true we've worked on a levadai. We're working on our own inner self, our own pnimius, but part of working on each individual person is to understand he and her have their bunkers also, and have their situations and their worries and their perspective. We must learn to understand each other. We must come together in a beautiful, this is a Tanai for Kabbalah Satira. We're 2.5 weeks before Kabbalah Satira, and we're saying B'siyata D'Shmaya, La'at La'at. The world's coming back together. Let's resolve to understand the next person, to be Noisei Ba'olim Chaverei. Perhaps deeper than Chesed, the Memches Kenyanim, this is a Shirish of Chesed. That I understand and think and get his matziv. I get his journey. We're all another face on the screen. So one guy, I see Yitzi Race right there, Dovi Salzberg, Daniel. I can't see who's in the backseat. Mayor Dave Shlomo Franklin's beautiful planet is right on my screen. Yosef Dovi's here, Matt Levin. Each one, Shua Frank, Mendy Katz, as a boy, you can call them and say, beautiful Shua, Weishmal, Ishus. They're people. Each person has their own journey. Each person has their own, by the way, to get to this screen, we all have our own unique journey. To try to carry your sapphire livnas, carry your sapphire brick in your pocket, that you understand another person's journey and another person's situation. That is the deepest way of connecting to the cloud. It's something in yeshiva where Zeicha, the last night, people often share their own journeys. And we're always amazed that we didn't know the other person's story. We didn't know it. To try as best as we can to really understand the next person, deeper than doing nice to them. This will flow in niceness. Ishtel zu, apply, understand them, get what they're feeling. The only way you really can join somebody deep in the hole in the ground is if you understand what it means to be in the hole in the ground. That guy in the British Parliament floor just somehow said words that showed he understand. To the people 50 years later, he was a hero who rescued them because he understood it, because he was there, because his mind comprehended. Let's be nice, say, well, know your friend's drive to get to where he is. Understand he had a different journey than you. You might have hopped on a bus and it took 2 hours. You might have hopped on a bus and you had a 7.5 hour trip like Ezra. Each person has their own trip, but try to understand the other's journey. Have your own sapphire livnas with you that your mamish try to understand. That connects us to the cloud. That is a Tanai for Kabbalah Satira. Somebody who lives like that now is connected and part of a beautiful tzibur. If we just look down and put away other people and mock and don't understand them and understand their beauty and understand their journey, so then we lose Torah chas v'shalom. But if we understand, we're noisei ba'oil, then we have a Kabbalah Satira. I think this mid of noisei ba'olim chaver, each one understanding the other, trying to understand that where they're coming from, what they're feeling, what they're experiencing. It's interesting. We've been hit by universal makkah. This is a universal pandemic, but it's fascinating. Each person was affected as if like a different event happened. I know mishpachas who had kulay, mazel, and bracha. Their parnasa was unaffected. It brought the family closer. I know another family lost all their parnasa. Another one who had death in the family. And each person was affected differently. Important to understand what happened to him. We're going to come together. We didn't go through the same thing. Connect to another. What was your story? I don't know yours. The pandemic was not the same story, me and you, and him and her. It was 4 different stories to 4 different people. It's interesting. We're going to meet up again in Shul B'Karev, and we'll get to schmooze and talk and hug. What was yours? What happened to you was different than what happened to me. But we have to understand with ears, with listening ears, with a mind that's willing to hear what's another person. What was your experience? What was your journey? To come deep and come out of ourselves. That is the way that we connect to the cloud, to the Jewish people. And Torah was handed to the Jewish people when we connect to the Jewish people by understanding another one. There's a lashon by Avram Avinu that he spoke to every person, kefi daitoi. That means he understood a person. That means he took the time to understand. Moshe taught Torah to Klal Yisrael, took the time to understand. So then he has a shaykhus to Torah. Then he has a shaykhus. He's noisei ba'ol. He's connected to the Jewish people. He has a shaykhus to Torah. So all of us should be zoiche. The last couple of days in our bunker, Be'ez Hashem, slowly, with Siyata D'Shmaya, we're getting out of our bunkers. We're hearing from Yitzi and Eretz Yisrael, slowly. We're seeing in communities, minyanim open up. Let us resolve to understand the next person and their situation. Let us profoundly connect to Yidden without any animosity. Chas v'shalom, not to yell at a Yid who's distancing too much. Not a yell at a Yid who's not distancing enough. Chas v'shalom, with an ayin tov. Each one understanding the next. We have a government, we have police. Of course, each person has to keep the laws. Each person avada, but we need to come to band. We're being mechen for Shavuos, a time of Kabbalah Satorah, Marash Akilas Yaakov, that precious gift of Torah that was given to the entirety of the Jewish people. Let us all band and connect to the Jewish people. Matt, could I unmute you, Matt?
Yes, Rabbi, unbelievable. I promise you, I was just thinking to myself how in the beginning of this year, Rabbi started off with Shlomo, and I was already on the moon. And then you moved on to talking about Ezra. I'm just flying so high right now. I'm way higher than the moon right now. Serious talk, Rabbi. I'm higher than the moon right now.
Could you share us from that high place that you are on? Thank you. Could you share a beautiful song, Matt?
Yeah, but the song might even bring us higher, though, so we really got to hold on tight. One more time I'm singing Thanks for bringing out the best in all of us and bringing
That
out
was gorgeous.
Rabbi, I cannot jam like this. I promise you. If there wasn't the shear going on right now, I wouldn't jam anything like this. I'd be like messing up. But right now, I know it's gonna go smooth when I'm on such a high from realness, real talk. I'm telling you, I'm blown away, Rabbi. I'm blown away.
Thank you. That was gorgeous, Matt. Thank you. Shlomo, do you have a setting? I want you, if you would do another song, there's a setting, Shlomo Franklin, turn off original sound. Do you see that? You see where it says turn off original sound?
I turned this on. I'm looking for it doesn't exist.
I'm technologically deprived.
I'm like, without Yaakov, I'd be lost. I'm going to show you. Believe me, I'm going to have Yaakov show you one day for Zoom. There's some setting to turn off that helps the music.
Huh.
Yak, should you describe it or you won't be able to? You'd have to leave the meeting, and I certainly don't want you to leave, Shlomo. I'm going to have Yaakov, I'm going to call you to have Yaakov describe it. This way we can hear you again, Shlomo. Thanks a million.
Thank you, Rabbi.
It sounded beautiful. There's some setting that we learned that you could turn off that makes the music with the sound come even better across the screen.
Cool.
Thank you, Shlomo. Thank you.
Thank you, Rabbi.
I don't want to jip out to wait. Could you do another piece for the guys before we call it a day?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, Shlomo.
It's hard to follow what Matt just played because that was very beautiful. I wrote, so my grandmother, she passed away a few weeks ago. She was 93, which is very sad, but when someone is that old, sort of people, it's you feel bad, but you also celebrate the life. So I don't have my capo. I usually sing it a little bit differently, but I wrote this song for my grandmother. And it's about how we live on through a lot of what Rabbi was talking about, through our empathy and all that. Lovely lady, lay your weary head. I love you, darling, probably till I'm dead. When you grow old and tired, I'll hold your bones together. We can take it all on, brave the cold weather. And our love will live on. May our love remain strong. Long after you're gone, 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 gone. Gone, 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 gone. Lovely lady, lay your weary head. I love you, Grandma, probably until I'm dead. When the walls come crashing down, I'll hold you up. When the walls collapse around us, Grandma, I'll give you all my love. May our love remain strong. May our love live on. Long after we're gone, 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 gone. Gone, 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 gone. Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you, Shlomo. Thank you. The family should be comforted. That song was beautiful. Thank you, Shlomo. Sweet like you. Look at the comments. People were very touched by all your songs. Thank you, Shlomo.
Thank you, Rabbi. It was hard following Matt, but
Thank you. You did great. Thank you. Thank you, Shlomo. I wanted to just share with them that B'siyata D'Shmaya tomorrow at 2:05, we're trying to, Rav Aaron David has offered to come on and share Divrei Torah with us. So tomorrow at 2:05, if it will work out, he's going to call in. And Be'ez Hashem, if we're able to unmute, Yehuda Gradko arranged it for us. So I thank Yehuda Gradko. And at 2:05, we'll have that. I want Menachem Snyder. I want Rav Lawrence to get to hear Be'ez Hashem, Momo Ringo, the whole chevra. I want you to hear Rav Aaron David, this Sadik. So 2:05 tomorrow. I needed to come up with something stark. If you have Shlomo Franklin, so Rav Aaron David will come on. Shlomo, you're invited. 2:05. Mayor Davidson, thank you for helping to arrange. And everybody should have an outstanding day. Cult of Kalman Sage. Ezra, thank you for sharing your journey. Continued Hatzlacha. Morty Levovitz, thank you so much for being here. Thank you to the whole Chevra for coming on. Hatzlacha Rabba, guys.